Let's go down to problem number 3. So as use your calculator to find the line of best fit between these points. So if you remember, and if you watch up here, so best thing to do is make sure things are cleared out. I mean, we can clear a calculator or we can keep it as is. If you go to y equals first, clear out anything that's there, and just arrow down to see if there's anything in any of the locations, okay? So the first thing you want to do is you just want to make sure everything's cleared out on the calculator, because you don't want something funny showing up on your graph, okay? Everyone good with that? Okay, move to the next step. So calculator on, go to y equals, clear any of the things. Y equals top left button. We good?
Yes.
All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to hit second y equals. Second y equals. I want to turn our stat plots on. Okay, yours might already be on, that's fine. But you want to make sure you turn it on, so you hit number 1. If it's blinking on the on, it's not on, so you hit enter. So now the off is.
Wait, how do we get there again?
Second y equals.
Oh, second.
Enter.
Enter.
And then the important thing is that you have a scatter plot. That's the dots, L1 and L2. It doesn't matter your mark. It doesn't matter your color. If you get hung up on your marking your color, it's unfortunate. Wait. Get it now? Yes. All right. So once that's all good, just go second quit. So second mode. So to clear out of that. If you have stuff on your screen, you can certainly clear that off just by hitting the clear button. Okay. We also okay. All right. So now I want to plot my data. So I have 10, 60, 20, 108, 30, 155, 40, 205, and 50, 262. Agree? Yep. Good. So I need to plot my data in there. So it's very possible you have something in data. So go to stat. It's highlighted in red if you can't find it on your calculator. Hit enter because we want to plot our data. Notice I have data on mine. So if you want to clear your data, you move your arrow up and you hit your clear button. Take a look up here. Which button is highlighted red? Clear. Once that's done, use your down arrow. And it'll get rid of your data. Do the exact same thing to L1. Use your arrows. Go up to the top. Hit clear. And down arrow. Is anybody missing L1 and L2 on their calculator? Because you might miss that if you hit delete. But it won't, you can go back to it. You missing it?
No, but so we put 10, 20, 30, 40.
Yep, in L1. So in L1, we're going to put 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So just plot in 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Oops, if you make a mistake, go back up to it. Just retype in what you need. And then in L2, you're going to put 60 in for the 10 value. Again, if you make a mistake. 108 for the 20 value. 155 for the 30 value. 205 for the 40 value. And 262 for the 50 value. Does everyone feel comfortable with what's being shown on your screen? We good? About 5 more seconds to make sure we're good. I'm sorry, I should have less than that. else done? Everyone comfortable? May I move on to the next step? Okay, so now we turned our stat plots on. Everyone agree? The very first thing, bless you, the very first thing we did is we cleared out anything we had under y1, y2, anything like that, right? So the only thing that should show up on our graph are the points. So you're going to hit zoom, and you're going to go down to you're going to find zoom stat.
Number 9.
Yep. And then once you hit zoom 9, hit zoom 9, enter. Yep. You should get dots like that. If one of your dots doesn't show up like that, you entered your data incorrectly. Yours is not like that?
No.
What do you have? Dots?
It's like a straight line and then one dot down here.
Okay, go. Okay, ready? This is for you. Does everyone else have this up there? So the rest of you don't listen. Hit stat.
Stat.
Edit.
Edit.
Okay, look at your data. Does it match up with what's on the bottom of that sheet? Oh, you didn't put it in?
Okay, wait, and then what if I hit zoom 9, enter?
Yep.
It's still wrong.
Did you put all that data in? Very bottom, number 3. Does goodness mean you didn't do it?
Okay, and then I hit zoom 9. I got it now.
Perfect. All right. So that is our data for our line of best fit. Now, I will tell you on the final, we're not worried about the R value. We're not worried about positive or negative correlation. We might be worried about the line of best fit. So if I want to figure out the line of best fit with my data, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back. I'm going to hit stat. I'm going to move arrow over to calculate, and you want to do the linear regression, which is number 4 on mine. You hit enter going all the way down until it gets to calculate, and hit enter. So we'll get
reg ax plus b.
Yep. And then you hit enter all the way down until it gets to calculate. Now it's great if you have the R squared value. If you don't, it's not a big deal. But my linear equation to this problem is y equals 5.01x plus 7.7. So the y-intercept is 0, 7.7. The slope is 5.01. Okay, make sense? So if this data had said, hey, what would we get if we had a value of 45? What would we get if we have a value of 45? So let me write this on the side over here. I have y equals 5.01x plus 7.7. Now I should be able to get to my smartboard. Okay, let's see if this is going to work for us. I've used it a day or two. Where are you? Why aren't you working? I'm going to close my calculator. Oh, you know why it doesn't work? Not plugged in. So, where do we think we should plug this in? Down here, maybe? Yay! We have a board that works. Okay, so 1 equals 5.01x plus 7.7. That's my equation. Okay, so let's say they said, hey, what's the value at, or when x equals 45. So what do you think I would do? Yeah, what letter am I plugging in? X. So that 45 is going to go right here. So this is going to become y equals 5.01 times 45 plus 7.7. Whatever that comes out to, that'll be your answer. Yeah.
So when I did my calculation on the calculator, I got a plus bx, but I got the exact same numbers.
Yeah, you're fine. You're totally fine. You're good. There's two linear regressions on the calculator. The French have one way of doing it, so TI is big in France, so they have both ways on there. So, but they mean the exact same thing. So that's good. Okay. Any questions about that? So that's like one question on the test. So if you're like, oh, you can't do that, it's one question on the test. Okay. Well, you know, understand. Problem number 2. Decide if it's a function or not. What was the big test for this? There was a vertical line test. So remember the vertical line, if it touches twice, it's not a function. So which one can we eliminate right now? Is B going to be a function? No. So that's not going to work. Okay. Does C look like it could be a function? Yeah, the vertical line test works here. So that checks out. What about A or D? Yeah. If x repeats, it's not a function, right? So letter A, does x repeat? Yeah, I have 2 1s and 2 2s, right? Letter D, does x repeat? I have 1 2 3 4, or 1 2 4 8. So C and D both can work. Okay. Hey, quick question. Is this a function? Yep. Vertical line test totally works. So you can have a big old wavy line and it's still a function. And then last problem I want to go over, then I'll give you the rest of the period for yourselves, is the absolute value. Okay, so if it's an absolute value, remember we talked about this. This is way back when. Absolute value is the distance away from 0. So it can be in the negative and the positive direction, correct? So you always get 2 answers. So on this problem, what you do is you'd say, okay, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. So then I get absolute value of 3 is equal to 20. Is that okay? Which means I get x plus 3 equals 20. There's one problem. And I also get x plus 3 equals negative 20. So if I subtract 3 from both sides, I get 17 on this one. If I subtract 3 from both sides, I get negative 23 on this one. I get 2 answers. Absolute value, guys and girls. I will tell you, the hint on the test, you will see this more than likely on the multiple choice portion. The multiple choice portion has 17 for one of its answers. It has negative 23 for another answer. It has 17 and negative 23 for another answer. And it has no solution or something like that for another answer. So be very cautious when you see absolute value, no matter what. Like especially in this class, there's going to be 2 answers. Cool? Good? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for you. Is there any questions you have on these? So this is an addendum to your review. You have the rest of the period to work on the review on your own. Those 4 people who need to do the stuff on the Chromebook, I have Chromebooks up here, so come grab one if I contacted you. If you need to make some up, please.